Honestly, I think skills are the next big thing in just AI usage in general, not just in code, but also productivity and workflow automation. Now, I did a massive deep dive into a document that Anthropic released on how to build skills. But admittedly, I think I did a bad job of actually portraying how important skills are. So in this video, we're just going to go over some ways that I actually use skills from a day-to-day basis. So let's jump into Final Cut here, because believe it or not, I use a lot of skills on some of the animations you might have seen on this video or my podcast, Show Command AI. What I've essentially got is a bunch of captions here, which, mute that, which don't seem all that important, but we'll get into the skill aspect, being that this took no time at all to actually do. We've also got this introduction here, which kind of animates in, which you might have seen from if you're watching the shorts. You might have also seen this animation on my Figma Code to Canvas. And just because I love this one, this agent army thing that I had running on this OpenClaw video. And I'm able to create these using a combination of the Remotion skill, but also some design guidelines that I've created around these different channels. I have a skill for the design guidelines of my personal channel, which looks very ClaudeCode-like, but we also have a skill of the design guidelines of Command AI, which is very green, purple, and has logos and things like that. So the way I go about building skills is actually really quite simple. First and foremost, there is a skill creator skill, which you have to, and I'll leave links to this down below, but you have to actually clone the entire Git repo of Anthropic's skills. So Anthropic, which is here, and then copy the whatever skill that you want in this folder to your skills directory. But on that note as well, you can go to skills.sh and run skills add, and then whatever skill you've identified here. So maybe Anthropic have. So yeah, you can actually just run npx skills add skill creator. So this is probably a better way than the GitHub route. And this will run you through a step-by-step on how to build skills, right? And it will ask you questions and figure out what you want to do, and then it will create that and package it up for you. But another way to do it is by using the Figma MCP skill. We created this frame inside of Figma, which contains the colors, which contains the fonts, the overall style and things like that. And inside of ClaudeCode, using the Figma MCP said, using the attached frame, understand the brand guidelines and create a skill from it. So you're just asking ClaudeCode to create the skill, or even reference the /skill creator, which kind of merges the two together and says, you want to create a skill, but I'm going to use the framework in here to do what I tell you to do. You've kind of already told it rather than the skill creator skill asking you it. And in the same way, I created this as just a static HTML file just for a bit of fun for an episode we were doing. And I really liked this design style. So once again, inside of ClaudeCode, I said, create a skill from the design, and then pointed it to that file, and it's able to then create a skill and figure everything out. Again, I might say skill create a skill just to include that skill in this prompt. The result of that is here. I've got one in the actual project itself, which probably could move into here. Let's actually do that. So this was the one that looks that has the designs of my personal YouTube, the orange and the ClaudeCode looking stuff. And this is just a skills file. Use a skill for creating and modifying Remotion templates. And then it's got a bunch of colors, and then inside of here it's got the colors it uses, the components and all the stuff. I didn't type any of that. I just asked ClaudeCode to infer that from that HTML file. Similarly, we've got the Command AI design system, which we linked from the Figma MCP for all the design assets, and it went ahead and created this skill. I even provided it assets for it to use now, because it can use assets and references to the actual design system. So with that being said, let's just show you this in action and show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I do, and this is just my workflow, is I invoke the design system skill. This is if I'm doing something for my own channel. And I'll say something like create a static template for my channel to be used as a sting. 0x5am5 because that's the name of the channel. Maybe I can even point it to my personal website and maybe it can pick up some information from there. And let's just see what it does, just for some fun. And here it is. Nothing too crazy here, but you know, whatever. We'll deal with it. And so from that then, I will then invoke the Remotion Best Practices skill and say animate this. Sometimes I'll give it some sort of guidance or, you know, things that I might necessarily want to happen. Maybe I want things to be done in a certain way. But in this instance, let's just let it rip and see how it does. And although I haven't created the motion skill, this is again a set of templates and guidelines and things like that that it can use to animate things. They've obviously identified some key ways to animate things. And now we've got our animation happening. Again, nothing crazy. We're just trying to demonstrate the skill here. I've also got some cron jobs inside of OpenClaw that every few hours it basically texts me articles about AI and things like that that we could potentially feature on the Command AI show. It will present to me 3 options, and I'll put on the screen now an example of that. And then any article that I choose, I want it to put inside of a Notion database. I want it formatted in a certain way. And whilst I could have kept all of these formats in the cron job itself, I found that actually I was finding articles on my own, and I want to make sure I'm using that same skill that's embedded in that cron job. So instead of referencing the cron job, asking it to copy that style, I thought, well, let's create a skill to format things as they go into the Notion database. So as you can see here, we've got a title, we've got an introduction, we've got a few talking points, and then a link to that thing. And you can see all of the articles for next week's show follow this same format. So now, not only does the cron job use the skill to know how to put these in, I can now message my OpenClaw and say, here's an article that I found, and use the article skill, and it will put it in the Notion database. It knows everything like that, and it will format it in the same sort of way. And this can only be done that we have this third-party source of truth of a skill that makes sure that everything's kind of following the same sort of practices. I have the same thing for a video creator skill. Now I want to show you this because, again, if I have an idea for a video, I want it to run through a bunch of things. So quickly create video plans in a Notion integration. So it knows to put videos in a certain Notion database, and I want it to run through a few things. So when a user says plan a video, create a video. Ask for details. So I want it to be an interactive experience. What's the topic or the theme if we haven't already provided? Do I have any title ideas as an example? Or do I have any talking points that I want to hit? These are optional. And it will just figure it out what needs to happen, and then whether it's long or short format. And so it creates the entry, and then it researches that topic that I've given it, and then generate 5 to 7 title suggestions. And what I've found is, and again, one of the reasons why I'm making this video is I want to be more practically focused in my tutorials, in my videos, to actually not only show you how to do things, but also the result of doing them, what you will actually get out of these videos. I forget this stuff. When you have an idea for a video, you kind of forget the format, you just kind of roll with it. I get it to kind of twist the narrative of the video to make it more productivity focused or output focused, and then it generates the talking points that I can then follow, and then practical demo idea. Again, this is stuff that I should be doing every single video, and this is my source of truth now for actually drafting up an idea for a video. Of course I can omit this stuff and ignore it, but point is, it's here, and now it's just going to add it to a Notion database. So various things like that. So let's do that example. Let's show you what's going down. If I create a new chat here, create a new video for skills being very important with AI agents. So it should detect that I'm wanting to create a new video, so it should invoke this skill. And you can see now it's asked for a topic, format, title ideas, or a demo idea. So let's go through this now. Topic suggestion looks good. Long format. And use my own skills as a demo for creating titles. So it's already kind of creating a workflow for me that I can interact with, and just and as long as if I improve this workflow, then I can just add it to the skill. Source of truth is there, and it's going to guide me through that process. And here we go. It's created it. Alternative title suggestions, talking points, hooks, things like that. Everything that I wanted. It's even given me a YouTube description as well that I can copy and paste into the video once it's live. Everything I asked for in this skill that I can just reuse and just define that process. Now, we haven't spoken much about code, and I don't truthfully use a lot of skills in my code. If you didn't know, slash commands were actually replaced by skills, and because they effectively work in the same way, skills are an extension on slash commands. Slash commands are just reusable prompts. And an idea that I had was you might have seen recently about agents.md files actually creating more of a problem for agents than actually helping them out. So I thought of a way to generate, in ClaudeCode, you've got the init function, which is kind of what we're talking about here, automatically initialized ClaudeMD files. Now I'm probably going to use a skill creator skill to not only create a much more reduced ClaudeMD file, but also something I always do in projects because I like to swap between Codex and ClaudeCode, is actually symlink the ClaudeMD file pointing to the agents.md file. So not only will I initialize the project in the way that I like with a much more refined version of it, then do the symlinking, and that's kind of all taken care of just by using this skill, which previously in this case might have been a slash command. I want to create a slash command that overrides the init feature of Claude that produces a smaller essentials only Claude MD file. Now, I don't know if this is going to actually work, but this is the point about skills. We use them, we refine them. They're a living, breathing thing. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to say I want to introduce gates because a Claude MD file may already exist, but I also want to remove Claude MD or copy it, let's say, or rename as agents.md and symlink to Claude to agents.md. Let's just see what it comes up with there. So it's done that, and what's interesting is actually created a slash command of init that overrides the project init skill that it's created here. So looking at this now, project override for init creates the symlink. It checks a few things. It checks whether the files are actually there to create that gated system that I asked for. Scans the project, which looks for frameworks and things like that. So it's actually using a script here, which is cool, and suggests things to download. Point is, this is now up and running. Now I haven't done that in this project. So I'm going to run init and I'm going to see if we get overridden. We're going to cancel it if it starts to do that. Init skill has already been loaded. Let me follow the workflow. I can see agents. So it's actually working now. So now it's going to create an agents MD file that's more to my specification. Again, I can add things, I can change things as I start to see problems and this and that. So this is quite cool. Again, seeing the symlink here. This is great. And from a coding standpoint, just one final example here. If I'm working in a very front-end heavy project, I'll use the skill creator skill to create a brand guideline of what the front end looks like and then ask it whenever we create front end assets and put in my agents.md file, my claude.md file, any front end components are being created, make sure to use the front end skill that we created for this project. Should hopefully draw in a lot of the design guidelines and colors and fonts and things like that in order to build those best practices. So I hope this brings a lot of clarity to how I'm using skills, how you can use skills, how I think skills are just an amazing way to reuse, define system processes and share those between project members, team members, things like that in order to get work done way more effectively. Anyway, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to all my Patreons who support me directly. And until next time, keep on vibing.